There's this credit crunch, this credit collapse. And no matter how much money they throw at it, they can't reinflate the bubble. They're trying to get the bubble going again. They can't do it. So the people are looking for scapegoats. The classic propaganda model, going back to World War II, is first you develop a demagogue, and then you also develop scapegoats. In Nazi Germany, for example, Hitler was the godlike figure, and the minorities that they chose were the scapegoats. Now, here we have Lloyd Blankfein over at Goldman Sachs saying he's doing God's work. He's clearly setting himself up as a demigod. He's in touch with God. He's doing God's work. And for the propaganda model to work, you got to have scapegoats, because people need to fall in love with their captor, and they need to hate somebody. So that's the way the propaganda model works. So in America right now, they need somebody to be the scapegoat. So this is not unpredictable. This is the model that we're talking about, because since the credit collapse has eliminated the easy money, what we have now is this wholesale transference of wealth, what's left, into the pockets of the top 1%. And they have to do it in a way that everybody kind of thinks is acceptable. And they do this by scapegoating one portion of the population, by setting themselves up as God, and that they need to continue to transfer wealth to themselves. And that's the model that we've seen before in history, and it's the model being used in the U.S. today. So they use these derivatives as basically weaponized financial products. We saw with Hank Paulson. He went to Congress and said, either give us $700 billion or we're going to crash your economy. He held the Congress hostage. I don't understand how he got away with holding the American Congress hostage like this and demanding $700 billion in ransom. I mean, the U.S. is crying about pirates in Somalia. What about the pirates on the floor right there in Congress? I mean, I don't understand the double standard there. The easiest way to make money in the world is in the prison business. And we know that the prison business in the U.S. is thriving. The U.S. has the biggest prison population in the world. It's growing. The fastest minority in the United States in terms of growth is the prison population. We know that the private companies that own the prisons, they own the restaurants and hotels that are located near the prisons. So when you go to visit your family in prison and you stay in the hotel and you eat in the restaurants, you're paying the same owner who owns the prison. We know that the prison owners lobby Washington to get laws passed to make it easier to put people into prison. And this is a huge money maker. It's the easy way to make money. They're looking for a new bubble, and they were able to turn real estate into a wildly successful bubble. That was after the NASDAQ bubble, which was after the long-term capital management bubble and the savings and loan crisis bubble. They need to find a new bubble. The next big bubble to come down the pike is something that nobody's talking about right now, and it's going to be what we're seeing over there at Cantor Fitzgerald and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, headed up by Gary Gensler, who's a former Goldman Sachs guy. He's over there at Commodity Futures Trading Commission. They're going to authorize, starting next month, trading in box office futures contracts. In my opinion, this has the potential to be the next huge bubble and bust in the American economy. And we are unique in that we're going to see the creation of a bubble. It's like looking through the Hubble telescope and seeing the creation of a faraway galaxy. Here we're going to watch a bubble go from zero to $500 billion and then back to zero again in the course of 24 months. And this is going to be heralded as an amazing saving grace for the American economy. They're going to take box office receipts, which are roughly $10 to $15 billion a year, whether you look at it domestically or worldwide. They're going to securitize that, and they're going to introduce hundreds of billions of dollars of box office collateralized futures contracts. This is an insider trader's paradise. This is a gangster's paradise being overseen by Gary Gensler, chairman of the CFTC. I reached out to them to try to warn them about what was going on here, but this is a former Goldman Sachs guy. He's been put in place by the banking cartel, and they're going to oversee, with Cantor Fitzgerald, this enormous catastrophe. The insider trading possibilities are really unbelievable, like nothing we've seen before.